Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. For your message or massages, come in. Come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Just waiting for the reminder to go out. Yes, bestie, they played in your face. But guess who's laughing now, darling dears? We're gonna unpack this, but let's get the preliminaries out the way, darling dears. Are you fabulous, gorgeous and lovely? Glad you could pop in, darling dear. Michael, big cat wave. Good golly and the gosh, they played in your face and guess what you got? The energy of a 10. Ha ha! We love it. We don't hate it, darling dears. When we get the energy of the 10, it speaks about culmination. A situation has ended. Let me turn down the music. A situation has ended, darling dears. And guess what? Karma is most definitely attached. Yes, baby. A situation has come to its end. We love it. We don't hate it. The energy of the 10, according to astrology, the 10th house is Capricorn energy, and it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the ruler of karma as well as time as well as old age, darling dears. The energy of the 10 also speaks about you stepping into some form of status, darling dears, where you're being honored by others, possibly people outside of the circle you once knew. It's about your reputation. You're going to receive some form of success, darling dears, whether it's financial, career-wise, whatever. Somebody's going into the government. Good for you, darling dears. But it's also about money. Somebody's going to be gaining some form of money from some kind of a long journey that they took. Good golly and the gosh. But it's most definitely, because it's the 10th house Saturn energy, this is Dharma. Dharma is what? Good karma, darling dears. Good karma coming towards you. But because I used the Pythagorean, Slim Jim, Big Cat, Wave, back in the UK, darling dears. Who's that? I'm Ren. Hello, Ren. Hello, Slim Jim. I'm back. It's me. Anyhow, as I was saying, we use the Pythagorean theorem, so we go from 1 to 9, darling dears. So the 10 will translate to a 1. This is Mars and Aries energy, darling dears. This is you taking a new initiative. This is a fresh start for you. I told you, you got the 10, the culmination, the ending of a situation, and whatever karma was left on that particular dance floor, it's still on the dance floor. But you have what? You've upgraded, darling dears, ascended to a new level. Remember, I told you that. Energy of the 1 is also about your grandparents, the parental grandfather or parental mother, right? Be careful of accidents. Something to do with their health may be coming up. You could be the 5th child, darling dears, or you may have 5 children at this moment in time, but it's about a new relationship. You learn to stand up for yourself in situations where competition should never have been a question, darling dears. There was always competing against you. Well, guess what? Stupid people always win stupid prizes. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. So the energy of the 1, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. This is about your career. As I said, the energy of the 10 and the 1, it's your career. It's also intertwined with your life mission, darling dears, your soul purpose. Make sure you check your north node. See where your soul is at, darling dears. See what you're supposed to be striving towards. This is the energy you want to live in, your north node, not your south node, darling dears. It also speaks into your individuality. The energy of the 1 is the northward direction, darling dear. So you need to put an acronym crystal in the northward direction of your home, darling dears, possibly in your bedroom. Okay, why are you going to use acronym? because it will enhance your flow, your intuition, your clarity, and your decision making, darling dears. There's always help out there for you, darling dears, and I've just told you what it is. But you have free will, darling dears. Choose what you like, but choose what I said. I didn't say that. It fell out by mistake. Let's carry on, darling dears. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. The energy of the one, darling dears, is about your life path number. As I said, it's Mars and Aries energy moving forward. Mars and Aries energy, according to tarot, darling dears, is Emperor energy, boss mode. You could be an entrepreneur. You could, as I said, you're stepping into a position of leadership, darling dears. Okay. It also speaks about a father energy. It could be your father. As I said, a grandfather was coming up in this read, as well as the grandmother. You know, gender is fluid in tarot, darling dears. So check on their health, darling dears. They may be having about to have an accident, or they've had this accident. Check on their health. All right. So the energy of the one, darling dears, according to the 48 laws of power, is never outshine the master. I told you they was competing when they should have been what? Working with you. Why? You came with the light, darling dears. People don't understand that when you get someone who is of the light, darling dears, for some, this is a once in a lifetime effect. When they was around you, darling dears, all of their life was improving. And they was what? Dumping on you, whether it was physically, right? Giving you a good what? A two-piece, and not from the KFC. Or it was the verbal, darling dears. They was always dumping on you, trying to dampen down your energies. But when you understood that energy of the one, stand up for yourself and moved away from the situation, darling dears, they have to deal with all of the karma they've created for themselves. They played in your face. But who's laughing now? It also speaks about you made them feel more important than they actually were in certain situations and scenarios, darling dears. You was never able to show your full power around them. Why? You had to dampen down in order to take on their karma, darling dears. But remember, everything is being returned to whom it needs to be returned to. Remember, I told you that. All right. What else? Shall we press on? We will press on. The energy of the one, as I said, you're going to have to make a major decision. Wait until after the next new moon, darling dears. We are currently going for a new moon at this moment in time. Okay? The reason this new moon, if it's this new moon that you're supposed to make the decision, darling dears, everything has already become clear. It could be a business move. It could be something to do with communication, something that you're putting out there, darling dears. Whatever you put out there, communication, whether by words, email, text message, your words is law, darling dears, and you're stepping into a more abundant time on your what hemisphere, darling dears. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. We also have the energy of the 3, so there's definitely gossip on the table, darling dears. According to numerology, as I said, the dice is telling you to reevaluate, and you're going to make a major decision around the next new moon. Today is a new moon, or it could be the next new moon coming. More information has to come in. You know exactly where you stand as far as this intel. All right. I'm going to lead with pink cards. Tell us everything. All right. Told you, they're remixing the past. Give it the old wiki. Dub plate remix, darling dears. Somebody's rehashing something that you had going on, right? Oh, and this is why, because you're getting benefits, darling dears. Did I not just tell you this? Something to do with what? Your benefits because of your personality. Somebody's also thinking about your what? Your good. Your seat of emperors and empresses, darling dears. They're remembering how they used to get it. Ha ha! Remember all you want, darling dears. Poor, we put what? Good golly, the gosh. If this doesn't make you want to go for your obsidian crystals, I don't know, bestie. Somebody's remembering how you used to give it to them, darling dears. They see that your reputation has increased. Some of you have a new vehicle. Listen, all of the above, darling dears. And you've got what? Skrilla. .com, darling dears, money, or they think you have money, darling dears. Why? They're watching you closely, but they don't know how you're able to produce this money. You're pulling it out of what? Thin air, darling dears. What's on the base? Right? Yeah, they need to take a picture, darling dears. Take a picture, it'll last longer. They're bemused, right? This person abused you in the situation, whether it was verbally, mentally, financially, and sexually. Didn't I not just tell you this, bestie? We've got 33 in the chat. We love the 33. Why? It's a master number, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The energy of the 33. It speaks about a new beginning, darling. This is telling you to believe in yourself, right? Put yourself first in every situation. Whatever you're working towards is coming towards you, darling dears. They're going to pay for what they did, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. They need to take a picture of what's going on with the big cat, right? Because they can never get you back. The energy of the one, darling dears, is the first house. This is called the helm, according to astrology, darling dears. Why? Because you're the main character. There's something about you. Listen, it's your certain je ne sais quoi. It's the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, darling dears. They don't understand why you haven't fallen under all of the pressure that was applied to you, darling dears. They don't understand. Instead of getting more abuse in your life, darling dears, you're getting benefits. Let them remix the past, darling dears. They still can't come back. Not for all the tea in China. All right, let's press on. Let's get another deck. Tell us. Thank you. Descendant, cooperation. You changed the tone, right? In a close relationship, you let a situation go. You left that situation. Descendant is part of your ascendant, darling dears. Your ascendant is your rising sign, in case you're getting mixed up. Okay? Just like my ascendant is Taurus rising. Okay? My descendant is Scorpio. So it's moving away from all of that, holding on to, let me not talk about myself. Look at this, darling. Did I not tell you you are being protected in this situation? Your ancestral team as well as your guardian spirits. Remember, I told you that. You're Leo rising. If you're Leo, then it's your descendant is in Aquarius, right? Law number 30, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. It's all of this and that. Why? Because you make it, whatever you're doing, you make it seem like it's effortless, like you're not even putting no effort into it, right? Let them continue to believe that you barely tried. People don't know the amount of times that you failed in a situation that you've been working towards, but yet you had the tenacity to hold on, darling dears, to weather the storms. And everything you do, they think, how can they do that? They haven't done anything to deserve it. They haven't seen what's gone on in the background. Just like if you're making a VT, darling dears, if you've got to stop it and start it and stop it, nobody's watching while you're crying over your subscribers, darling dears. They only see the finished product. Let me tell you something. This and that, darling dears. This is what they don't understand. The mastery that you've acquired, right? Your hard work, look, is second nature. You don't have to put effort in it, darling dears. Why? Because you're going after something that is a passion. Remember, I told you that. Never you ever, bestie, never you let them see you sweat. No matter what goes down, right? Whatever situation that may come your way, never let them see you sweat. Continue, darling dears. Why? It's all a test. Remember, the energy of Saturn will test you, and you have to be up for it, darling dears. Face whatever comes towards you. Don't hide from it, darling dears. And if it's to cut off certain people, you cut them off. They played in your face. We've also got Temperance, darling. There's another guardian angel card. It tells me that you've had a foot in both worlds, right? From the 3D to the 5D. Remember, I told you that. It also has on the tarot card, it has a yellow brick road behind. This road has been long, darling dears, but the road is also narrow. You have to remember, when you walk forward, not everyone can come with you. And this is the part that you had to come to terms with. Some of you had to leave family members behind, maybe even your own progeny, darling dears. People that you would always be friends to the end, right? But they turned out to be what? Chucky, darling dears. Chucky. They were front tabbers. Yeah, a front tab. You don't want no one to tab you in your front, darling dears. No, I wasn't looking down. I'm saying, oi, can we keep this clean, darling dears? Can we? Lean in, bestie. Temperance is Sagittarius energy. Temperance is the healer, darling dears. It's about you learning to moderate this, darling dears, and utilizing that healing for yourself. You have to always pour into you before you can pour into anyone else, darling dears. This is so important. It also speaks about you setting your long-term goals. And it's about what time, darling dears. And as I said, Saturn is the master of time. Temperance is telling us about time. They're watching you, darling dears. They didn't know that you would overcome whatever it is you overcame, darling dears. And they will be silent watchers forever. Why? Because they've lost the opportunity to give you any form of advice on your life, even though their advice was shit, darling dears. You'd have been on the rocks of life, darling dears. And as I've said many times, they have been singing in a falsetto, Amazing Grace, with no tears on their face, darling dears. None. All right. I went to pick this up. And look what got left on the table. Secrets, darling dears. Do they have a secret for you? Hey, let's see. Let's go to your oracle ancestral message. Because we're learning to what? Dance by the light, darling dears. The light of what? Intention, darling dears. Intention. Set your intention. You have to learn to what? Write down what you want to manifest in your life. Remember that you are a powerful, resourceful manifester. You are a sentient being. Remember that the universe is for all. You can have anything you want, but you have to what? Decide what you want, write it down, and call it in. In every situation, darling dears. There's some... cards didn't quite go together, darling dears. Let's see. What is the message for the big cat today? You make everything you do seem effortless, darling dears. They think you're just laying back and having what? Having a laugh, right? But you have to understand, because you make it seem so effortless, because you're able to do whatever it is that you do, darling dears. They didn't see the back work of you actually doing it. They think that you're just having a laugh, you're just relaxing, and everything comes to you easy. It comes to you easy because you already faced the hard part. Lie back, rest and relax, darling dears. Some of you will be lying back, possibly going on holiday. I heard a purchase. Somebody's going to be making a major purchase. Could be a home, darling dears. Did I just not say? You're journeying by the light, and here we are, the moonlight, darling dears. This looks like a new moon in the background. Yeah, a full moon. Excuse me, I said a full moon. I said new moon, but it's a full moon. Freudian slip, darling dear. So now I'm gonna have to talk about them both. The new moon, right, is about you recalibrating, darling dear, setting your intention. You set your intention at the new moon for it to what? Culminate at the full moon, okay? Because the full moon is about your spiritual completion, for want of a better word. The full moon is when you what? Get the benefits of whatever it is you put out there. Never you forget that, darling dears. Never you forget that. You're saying it's 12:33 p.m., right? 12:33 p.m. is what? Free. We're going back to the free again, darling dears. This is your time. This is your season. The numbers are coming up, darling dears. Please pay close attention. This is for you. Set your intention, darling dears. Under the new moon, we are under a new moon. Set what you want to happen in your life. And don't just say it like, oh, I would like this. No, you're a sentient being. You have to call it in, darling dears. And once you set your mind, you've written it down, darling dears, burn that piece of paper and then let it go. This is how you manifest. I've told you this so many times. And I will continue to tell you that. Why? Because I'm bestie. And we're together. Like what? Thelma and Louise without the chelation, darling. Because we can't be going that far. That's taking it too far. All right. Let's press on. Let's press on. Okay. The energy of the one, darling, is you could be a life path one. The numbers 10, 19, and 28. The number one also represents the letters A, J, and S. Is ruled by the sun, big cat Leo energy, darling dears, and the letters A, I, J, Q, and Y. Definitely about your creativity, darling dears. Your luckiest numbers will be 1, 2, and 5, and your luckiest days will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The number one is ruled by the astrological aspect of a conjunction. A conjunction is when it's one sign apart, darling dears. A conjunction means this new beginning that you've set in your life. And as I said, many of you will be attaining some kind of leadership role, darling dears. I already said something to do with social media, but it's anything that was done with communication, the written word. Remember, I told you that. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. Let's get a deck. So they played in your face, did they? We're going to give the deck an even split. See what's really going on. Look. I just split the deck, darling dears. And this one was already turned around. 10th cup, darling dears. Whatever the 10th cup means to you, you've already found it within, darling dears. We love it. We don't hate it. If you've got a family situation, whatever your family is, whether it's a coupledom or it's just you and your progenies, darling dears. This is calling in new things towards you. Remember, I told you that. I love it. I don't hate it. This speaks about harmony, darling dears. It speaks about new friendship coming towards you. For some, this is what? Love. True love's first kiss will be meeting you. Remember, I told you that. All right. The 10th cup is Pisces and Mars energy, darling dears. And again, Mars energy is about asserting yourself, knowing whom you are, darling dears, being fully embracing this new beginning, whatever this new beginning is for you. And on the back of that is Justice, the 7th house, darling dears. It's in the upright. I can't make it up. The cards are speaking for themselves. Justice is being delivered unto whom it needs to be delivered to. So whatever they try to trip you up with or trap you within, darling dears, it's yours. Justice also represents what? Exes, darling dears. Your one-to-one relationships, a business partner, whatever it is. This person is now an open enemy. They are about to reveal themselves to you, darling dears. Remember, communication is most definitely involved. So they are going to what? They're going to come up from the dirt, darling dears. Like they're coming up out of what? Pet cemetery. To resurrect themselves for one more round, Julie, with your hairline. All right. Let's give it a good mix. Give it one more mix. This one won't come off the table, so there's a reason. Look. 10th cup, this is what they want to come and bring what? Rubbish into your life, darling dears. This is the 10th cup reversed. This is a lying liar. Somebody wants to come back and play in your face again, darling dears. Could be a family member, someone that you knew, someone that was close to you. The 10th cup is water energy, darling dears. Your heart chakra was involved. Okay. What did I just say? They don't come in peace. They come to bring war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing, darling dears. Not every battle that presents to you, darling dears, must you attend, right? Big Cat don't play battles, darling dears. We win wars. We have 53 in the chat. That's the energy of the 8, darling dears. The CEO of everything. Remember, I told you that. It also is what? Reminding you to assess every situation that comes towards you. Why? Because you're self-resilient, darling dears. You are taking a new approach. This is the energy of what? The energy of the one, darling dears. Big Cat Leo energy is also associated with luck. It also speaks about what romance and dating. Because we've got it in the reverse, it's someone that you dated. You may have been married to this person, darling dears. They're coming back to bring what? A van load of wickedness into your life. Remember, I told you that. They want to come and play in your face again. What makes them think that you're a plaything? This is what I want to know, blood. What makes them think you're a plaything? Look. The devil card in the reverse. What you once was, you ain't no more, darling dears. This is Saturn energy. When Saturn energy turns its energy around, it could have been a sexual relationship. It could have been to do with money. They try to gaslight you, keep you caged, just like that Drake in the not like us, VT, darling dears. They wanted to keep you in a cage, but this is in the reverse. When Saturn is in the reverse, darling dears, this is the blessings. This is you overcoming the tests and trials that they sent your way. You've already overcome this situation, darling dears. This situation that created a lot of confusion. This person also, how can I put it? They weaponized other people against you. And the people that believed them, flying monkeys, they believed it. They didn't hear your side of the story. They weaponized people against you. If it was in your family, darling dears, you was always, look at you standing by yourself. And all of this confusion. You've already overcome this situation. So what now? They want to play in your face again. If they take a picture of you, darling dears, you must be like this or like that. Running this way or that way, darling dears. They're out of order. Thank you very much. The death card came out, darling dears. The ending of that situation. You have some kind of rumination, darling dears. Some kind of settlement. Some kind of money coming towards you. The 8th house is also the marriage house. It's also the house of one-to-one relationships, darling dears. Business contracts. Could be retirement money, could be alimony, child support. And as I said, it could be compensation, whatever it is. Something is about to be returned to you, darling dears. Maybe they can feel the energy changing for you. Let's clarify it, the death card. Because this was the situation, darling dears. Wherever they are, the money is not looking good. The money is funny, guys. Tell them at the back. It's a destabilized home, so there's constantly fighting. There's lots of arguments. If they're with a woman or man, darling dears, this person is living above their pay grade. And they're what's that word for someone that's full on stupid, right? They practice stupidity. People that idolize foolish things. This is someone that you can't build with, darling dears. You can't make, what's the word? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Yes, those are the words, darling dears, whether it's a man or woman. They got with someone in a situation, darling dears, and it's not working out. All of this fighting, darling dears. They want to leave a situation and come back towards you. But the death card is saying, hell to the no. This is a new beginning, darling dears. The 8th house is a highly spiritual house, darling dears. The 8th house has a lot of karma attached to it, darling dears. Okay? There was a lot of personal sacrifices that you put into this situation, darling dears, but this is in the upright. This is you overcoming. There's something about unaliving and an STI involved in the situation. Listen, I just come with the messages. No judgment here, right? But this is what they're in, darling dears. The tissue of lies. All right. So they want one more round, Julie, with your hairline, do they? You better make sure what you hold your gangster. Thank you. What did I say? You've got incoming. If this is not your progeny, they're coming with some news, darling dears. Remember, this is the mother or father of lies. They're coming with news, darling dears. Lies, news, lies, news. And remember, it will be communicated, right? Cups energy. They're hoping that you have some emotion involved in the situation, darling dears. They're coming with lies, news, Lies. Imprint that on your forehead, darling dears. The 1 and the 5 here, they want to be successful in this situation. They want it to go their way. They're hoping that you'll have some... Oh, you ain't no one's fool, darling dears. Oh, I love the way you're speaking to me, bestie. You're seeking like-minded people, darling dears. Situations that are more balanced. Listen, you took a leap of faith, darling dears. When we see the Fool card, you have someone approaching you. This is going to be someone, there's going to be an age difference, darling dears. But you've got the Fool, and it's on the Death card, darling dears. Saturn is in the reverse. This is your second chance that you're on, darling dears. What you're seeking is going to be drawn towards you. It's about you continuing to raise your vibration. Remember, the 963, darling dears, you can play that at night time while you're sleeping, so that it can balance out your chakras, darling dears. The sun energy is to do with your head, your crown, darling dears. All of these things, I tell you, sometimes you might think, oh, B-Cat, you're talking to... Listen, this is valid information. This is to help you. Play it at night time. You can go on YouTube and get something with the 963 frequency. Play it low, and I'm telling you, you will have a restful sleep, and you'll be balancing out your chakras, so you can invite what you truly deserve into your life. And remember, what you bring towards you is going to involve your emotions and your heart. But no one's fool. Should we leave this one here? Oh my God, these nails betray me sometimes. Oh my God. Let's go back to the regular programming. Yeah. What did I say? Brock Pocketers, buddy. Have you got a dime, darling dears? This is somebody that wants to take the flight out of your tail. If this is your progeny, a situation involving your progeny, listen to me very carefully. Something to do with money, something to do with your health, darling dears. That progeny let you down. Maybe they were supposed to support you in a situation, right? Something to do with health. It could be your health, or it could be the health of one of your progeny. Maybe they were supposed to advocate for you, darling dears. This person did not advocate for you, darling dears. It could have been at a panel meeting, whatever it was, darling dears. This progeny did not advocate for you. This is another message. You have to decide what you're going to do with the information that you have now. Whether you're going to continue to pour into a situation where this person did not advocate for you. And when somebody's your advocate, you give them all of the information so that if you forget, they're supposed to be your attack dog. This is a progeny that did not advocate for you, okay? And because they didn't advocate for you properly, you lost money in a situation. Let me see if you'll be able to recover this money. Because the devil is a liar. Will you still be able to recover the money? Thank God. Yes. Ooh, my stomach was doing flippy flops, darling dears. Yes. This is you being unsure, not knowing what your next move is going to be. But look, it's sword energy, darling. There's mental energy, right? And it's about communication. If your progeny did not advocate for you in a situation, you're going to be able to get out of the situation, darling dears, and you're going to be able to save the day. What's on the base of the deck, darling? I can't make it up. Again, more sword energy. You're going to go smooth. It's going to be smooth sailing going ahead, darling dears. This is where they were supposed to help you. They didn't help you, right? It's possibly a mother and a child. Maybe it was a panel meeting. Maybe it was something to do with your alimony. Whatever it was, you called in someone close to you, a progeny, I'm getting. And they did not advocate for you. But it doesn't matter what they did, right? You thought you'd lost the war. The battle. You thought you lost the battle. But the war's still on, guys. And it's smooth sailing, so it's going to turn around. Remember, I told you that. That's another message for someone. Tell me something more about the players in your face. Right? The ones that need to come off the field and go into the barn. Tell us something more. They're not coming back to heal the situation, darling dears. They're coming to create controversy in your life. The star card on its forehead, this is Aquarius energy. Aquarius is the 11th house of friendships, darling dears, groups and whatever. They're coming back to isolate you in a situation, right? To put burdens on you. You better put your third eye on them bitches and mitches, darling dears. Look at this cup. It's closed, darling dears. All your answers are going to come from within. Because sometimes people leave it long enough, darling dears, and they've hopefully forgotten that you're not going to care about what happened in the past, that you're just going to be grateful. Remember, they didn't know your spiritual ranking when you was there, when you was assisting them, right? And are you going to go against your ancestors, right? Father God, Mother Isis, to bring somebody who is in their descendant energy, darling dears, back into your life. When Temperance has said, I'm showing you the way. When you've realized that, what? If you allow them back in, darling dears, you might as well kiss this goodbye, right? Because you're going to be dealing with this in your face, darling dears. And some of them like to deliver a two-piece, and I told you, the two-piece don't come from no KFC. It doesn't. Put your third eye on them bitches and mitches, darling dears. Think clearly, right? Oh my God. Whenever we see Swords energy, darling dears, it's air energy. You learned a lot in this situation. Divine, again, is reminding you to use your logic. And it's also a reminder, Swords is about communication, right? Your words are carrying spiritual weight. Anything you utilizing communication with your words, emails, right? It's carrying spiritual weight, darling dears. We already saw the justice that is being delivered to you at the beginning of the read. But it's also a reminder next to the Queen of Cups. Yes, you remember, darling dears, but this is imprinting it on your mind to never forget. You all right then? You may forget what they did, but you will remember how it made you feel. And do you want to feel like that again, Scotty? Do you? Whenever they approach you again, whomsoever this is, darling, just remember, it's hockey sticks at dawn. Hockey sticks at dawn. Ever forwards, never backwards. They gave you what? Drapetomania. The overwhelming urge to run away like Tinky Winky. Look, this is the liar. This is somebody that would what? Do anything to come back. This could also be an ex, darling dears. Somebody that was never aligned with you. We already spoke about the Justice, the 7th house, one-to-one relationships. It could be an ex. What's popping up? The Ace of Wands. You don't want what they're offering, darling. Look, what's on there? Is that an STI? Do you see STI, darling dears? Hermit energy, darling dears. This person wants you to come out of isolation. They really want to get in contact with you, right? Again, you better think clearly. Why are all of a sudden you're the most important thing in their life? They have to be in your hemisphere. Because nothing's working for them, darling dears. This is someone that lives vicariously through others. The things that you was doing in your life, darling dears. If this was a partner and they got a throuple on you, darling dears. The person that they got with, they was dating you because it was your ideas. It was you that was breathing into that situation. They was left to deal with that situation. And now they want to come and replenish themselves on you, bestie. Look, I just split the deck again. You better think clearly. Think clearly. And as I said, and I keep saying this, anything that you've sent out there with your words, any form of communication, darling dears, it carries spiritual weight. Why do I say that? Because it already told us. Anybody that's trying to hoodwink you at this moment in time, darling dears, people that are trying to be a tampon string in your life, you're about to get justice. Let me get another deck because I don't think you're understanding. Let me get another deck. New deck. This is where they left you, darling dears. You must leave them there, out in the cold, darling dears. Iced out, full on Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. Don't feel sorry for them, darling dears. This is Mercury, right? Mercury's about your communications, darling dears. And this is Taurus energy. They're coming, they will break your pocket, darling dears. They will utilize anything that you offer them. This is someone that if you've got children with, they still wanted the children wearing the baby shoes. You know them soft shoes they get when they're just born? This is someone who had money but deliberately iced you out of situations, darling dears. They didn't want you to have it. They, them and Don't press me. It's they, them and If you want something more personal, hit me up for a reading, darling dears. Abuse the situation. Listen, I don't know. Physical abuse is right up there, but verbal abuse is right up there too. That's why it kept showing you the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Use logic in the situation. Undo whatever they said. Why? It's going to stop you from ascending. And Divine has already gifted you this second chance. This place where you're going to have true reason, right? True support, darling dears. Pay attention. Look, nothing to offer the situation, darling. There's somebody that took a gamble and a risk on you, darling. There's the King of Pentacles on his face. Someone who's broke, and here you are, the Queen of Cups, whether you are male or female. And now we have what? The King of Swords, darling dears. Whenever we see two kings on the tableau in the reverse, darling dears, one is in the reverse, one is in the upright. If they were both in the upright, this is a good partnership. This was never a good partnership. The Swords energy, you may have had to call the police on this person. You may have had to take them to court to get them away, right? Oh, the 10th cup. Look, we found them. Yeah, two different decks. The same 10th cup. The King of Swords also represents somebody that's in the military, could be in the government. As I said, somebody's going into the government agency. Maybe you're getting a job with the government. Could be a leadership role, darling dears. This is what they come to do. This is so outrageous, darling dears. This is Taurus energy as well as Mercury, as I said, darling dears. They come to bring you financial loss. There's going to be issues with your health if you allow them back in your life, darling dears. The five of Pentacles, darling dears, speaks about arguments, the never-ending arguments that will wear you down. The Palace of Cups, use reason, darling dears. Because everything that you've imagined for yourself, everything that you want to manifest for yourself is here in the Palace of Cups. Divine wants you to spend some more alone time, darling dears, because you need that alone time. Number one is to reset your cranium. And number two is for you to hear the voice of the Most High. Because the Most High was so tricky. He hid inside each and every one of us. All of the answers come from within. Split the deck. Five of Swords on its face means don't take them back, darling. This person or people want to make amends. The same ones that played in your face. The same ones that put you on the rocks of life. And in this situation, you must be a wise man. And what does a wise man do? They say nothing. Nada. Zilch. Zippo. Don't allow this person to pull a Lazarus in your life. Person or people. These are the same ones that's been watching sword energy. They've been watching all along, darling, just silently. Some of them have different names on their accounts. You wouldn't know who it was. But they've been watching all along, darling dears. And now they want to come and make amends. The universe says, no, this would not be a good choice for you. Lovers in the reverse. Split it again. If you take them back, you're going to take on the karma that you just had with the first deck, good karma. You're going to take on their karma. Split the deck again. The universe says, no, don't do it, Scotty. Don't. Listen, I don't know what more to say. They played in your face and they're doing a what? A one more round, Julie. Angelic Alchemist Mother. Big Cat Wave, long time no see, darling dears. Let's get another deck. Tell me something more. This is what gonna happen, darling dears. They will break your heart and you may not be able to fix it back, darling dears. You better lace on them Nikes and be forever the runner. May your Nikes be forever laced. Right? No, blood. You run away from them like Tinky Winky because they're nothing but a snake. Manipulation is their way, darling dears. They're not coming back with anything good. And again, I have to go back to that thing what I said to you about the progeny. There was a progeny that was supposed to advocate for you in some way, shape or form. And what they didn't support the situation, something to do with someone's health, whether it was your health or the health of a progeny, another progeny. But you was able to recover that situation. I don't know. Spirit just told me to reiterate that. Whatever they did, they tried to undo it. But Divine says you will win. This is your season. Don't take the snake back. May your Nikes be forever laced, blood. This is an enemy who's very clever. And it's about the other woman, darling dears. It could be the person that they're with, darling dears. They're broken-hearted. Why? This person is still chasing you. So your name is, listen, your name is being, your name. If they mention your name around them, it's the ending of this person. And they possibly use your name to beat them with when they know that they don't have no purchase in your life, darling dears. Tick-tock. Outrageous, darling dears. They need time. Time to go and do whatever they want to do, darling dears. Look, this person had your heart. You saw them as a soulmate. And they want a minute of your time, darling dears. So they can seduce you. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you, blood? Pay your knees. Pay your knees. You don't want to get involved like that. Did we not see the devil card? We've just overcome the Saturn energy. I don't know about you, darling dears, but once I finish with someone, when I see you again, I see you as you really are with the mask off. You must be fucking joking, blood. You'd have to get me when I'm dead. You'd have to be a necrophiliac, blood. You'll never get me. You know, I know. They'd have to go for the oi. Did you know that they're trying to employ less men in funeral homes? I saw this. I saw it on TikTok. They're trying to employ less men in funeral homes. Why? Because they're going with the dead bodies, blood. I know. They want to come and seduce you. Is that jumping out? They want you to have this date with destiny, darling. There's the destiny that's going to take you down a dark path that will bring you back to all of the addictions, all of the codependency, darling dears. The self-doubt, darling dears. Pay attention, darling dears. Pay attention. They played in your face. They didn't care. And they want a minute of your time. Let's split the deck again. They're coming through, darling dears. I told you, communication. Let's get one final card. We're going to go with the Kipper deck. I've said what I've said, because you make everything look easy. They're proper worried about you. Energy of the 33, darling. There's the good, the golly, and the gosh. This is a master manifester, darling dears. You're like the magician, darling dears. This is how they see it. They don't know how you was able to do what you did, because they want to come and take away what you've acquired for yourself, darling dears. I told you your words are carrying spiritual weight. Remember, I told you that. Well and truly pressed, darling dears. Well and truly pressed. Don't let them back in. They played in your face. And if they cross a big cat, darling dears, how many times you can allow it? None of us know the day, the hour, or the minute. You have a purpose on this Malkuth, darling dears. And sometimes that purpose could be for you to meet a stranger on the street and you give them £10. Maybe that was your purpose, and that's where your blessings are going to come in, darling dears. Everybody has a purpose. This ain't it. Let them continue to think about you. It's on the 16 tower moment, darling dears. This is catastrophe. But the tower also brings in the change. You make everything look effortless. And they hate it so much. On that note, I drops me mic to love to my Teesprings, pick up some of the channel merch, or my Patreon to watch my extended videos. If you'd like a personal read, hit me up in the Gmail at frequencyphoenix555@gmail.com. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave until we meet again on these tarot screens. Cat, 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 cat. Remember, your words are being divinely guided. Your words carry spiritual weight. What they try to undo for you will not be done, darling dears. Divine is giving you this. Let them go with their picture, darling dears, and make that picture always be in the running move. Make your way.